In the midterm supplemental budget of September 2022, approved in September, provision was made for a housing vehicle loan for about USD 40,000. The loan was understood as genuine part of the MP's welfare. The loan is therefore not a surprise executive instrument, but one that went through the due process of appropriation as is provided in our constitution of our country. It is not a discretionary issue or an executive gratuitous gesture, unlike grants granted to ministers and deputy ministers. The loan is not new and it's not a new one. In October of 22, MPs were made to sign binding loan application forms, which they executed. In late November, Parliament made partial disbursements of these loans. The loan in question is above board. The loan is is no excuse for state failure or the deplorable state of public service. It is no excuse for 42 years of mean management and misallocation of public resources. And most certainly, the loan cannot bribe or derail a cause that is for us. We therefore reject the equalization. We are not ZANU, and they have never been ZANU, and I have never been ZANU, and we will never be ZANU-PF. We are triple C. We have remained principled and committed. We have remained unwavering in our quest for transformation and change in our country. We have faced dictatorship and its billions of dollars weaponized against our people. We refuse to be sidetracked or seduced into agendas that have ulterior motives. We believe in our leader, the advocate, Nelson Chamisa. We have no doubt there will be change in our country, and we will stand forthright through thick, through the storm, through hell, through everything. We will stand behind the champion-in-chief, Advocate Nelson Chamisa. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to members of the Fourth State. Thank you very much to honorable members. I'll now give the platform to our spokesperson, the deputy, Papa Ostalicious Sizila. The platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Chief Whip of Parliament. You can see that there is clarity of thought and fixity of policy from Triple C. We've had a communication problem, and as an alternative government, we take procedures. That's why we've been doing this engagement, members of Parliament, so that there is clarity of what transpired, because that has been the missing link in the discourse around the issue of the loans to Parliament. And thank you, our Chief Whip, for clarifying the position, and that our members of Parliament remain very clear in terms of the mandate. So we'll take a few questions and we'll share the statement with you so that you can be able to give reference. We'll take, as per the tradition, you introduce yourself, and then we'll take a few questions so that we can conclude the presser. Thank you. Yes, completely.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much to the Chief Whip for the clarification. I'm sure, or I hope, the citizens will understand. Your position now, Chief Whip, seems to be against what the president of CCC, President Nelson Chamisa, had said in a video which has been shared countless times on social media, where he said this was unethical and should not be done, and CCC MPs should not have signed those papers. This is what the CCC president said. It is on video. In this instance, you seem to be defending, if I'm not losing it, you seem to be defending the move to get the 40,000. May you please give us a clarity there? You please just clarify whether you are not going against the president.
Thank you. Any other question? Yes.
Thank you so much, Spokes. I have two questions. My first question is, Chief Whip, do you think the CCC president has become soft to the members of parliament, and if the members of parliament were told not to receive that 40K, were they going to listen to the CC president? And my last question is, seeing that we are only a few months before the next general elections, if the MPs had collected the 40K, how then do they intend to pay that money? If it's a loan, how do they intend to pay back that money if most of them, are not coming back in parliament next election? Thank you.
Thank you. Londo.
Okay, my question to the Chief Whip would be, some of your critics have argued that is it not better that you take some of the funds and share at least with your party a certain percentage of the funds or your citizens, so that at least there is some form of equality, given that some are arguing that it's abuse of funds? Are we going to see some of the CCC MPs contributing to the party, given your financial situation?
Okay.
Just to add on to Mlo's question, just a confirmation: are these personal loans? Both there are expectations from the public for these loans to be used in certain ways, maybe in terms of development of service delivery. Are these personal loans, or this is money that can be used for anything?
Okay. So I think those are all the questions.
Thank you. I'll go on to the third question. This is a loan, and that loan is an agreement, which is clearly a loan agreement, which is clearly spelled out at how it's supposed to be spent. And any deviation from that requirement would be a flouting of rules. So we always abide by the requirements of this agreement. So we'll speak to the agreement to deliver in terms of how the 40,000 is supposed to be used. As if you take note, I had earlier on pronounced to the fourth state that it's for housing purposes, and that purpose is what it stands for. And an honorable member is supposed to take that responsibility to have access to a house, and it will save that. And as the CCC will make sure that our honorable members will stick to the requirements of the loan agreement. Then on the other two, I'll give that platform to the party. Remember, I'm not an independent chief whip. I belong to a political party. And on other matters, the party has to play a role. And that's why I'm here after all this outcry. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Whip. I think there's clarity. Leo, you asked a question around the president speaking. You understand, Leo, that the president is a visionary. He has got a mandate at all material times, whether it is hot, it is cold, it is summer, to give vision and direction and to guide the organization in terms of its values and ethos. And we have said, we had a meeting with members of parliament, and one of the critical issues we raise is the questions of integrity. That's why we took it upon ourselves as CCC to say, first thing, we must investigate. That's why we called the Chief Whip, we called all our members of parliament to say, you explain to us, to say what happened, right? Because we had to make sure that we investigate and make a decision based on the facts, which is what they've highlighted now and given a perspective to our people and supporters. And the president made it very, very clear that in no circumstances can our party dither and compromise on issues of ethics and values. The issue that we saw, and that's why we are happy today, because we have said members of parliament, go and speak to the people, because we had no political problem. I see my fellow political science professor saying no, to try and strike political equivalence between members of parliament and ZANU. We're far from it, because we have said to members of parliament, come and explain to us what transpired. And we now have the facts, we have read the contracts. And what was not there was a communication issue, not a political problem. But the enemy obviously intended to harvest out of it and present a political